Boot looking to fight alongside Patatek, who's already lost his life. Unfortunate timing as the swing came out. Artis found one player and no one else ready on the trade. That's a quick pick and a fade back, obviously, because of his anchor.
And no flashes. That's probably the bigger issue. Like, how are you now going to get back into this position? Okay, you can have Miniboo just try and blitz his way through, which I imagine is the plan. He's going to take the space and try and do some damage there, but it still seems a little bit hesitant. I think Heretics, even though they've got a man disadvantage, are still expecting Na'Vi to be a little bit aggressive here.
Well, knowing the team, you're obviously going to have that expectation to play with. Zagetsu really feeding into it. He's right up against the Poison Orb, trying to take the fight. He's fallen back. He's now the focal point of this attack, but Artis is able to swing through, find heavy traffic, 2 quick kills, and then Zipan's on scene. Artis caught, changing weapon. As Riens finds his double, a plant, a Hunter's Fury to work with, but the paranoia wasn't used by Na'Vi. Now it's blinded. Riens kept him trapped as he fights onto Angel. They know exactly where he is. They're seizing him in. He's low HP, trying to recover. He's got a little bit of time, a little bit of space, but he hasn't heard that TP close. He's not ready for a double swing. Not ready for Angel to hit the shot right away. Second found for Na'Vi, now tying it up neck and neck. And the problem is, Tom, you know, you mentioned the last round, Heretics had kept over money. They had that little bit of reserve. Now that's all gone.
Yeah, I think you're also starting to see the dangers of what this defensive side is going to be. You're basically giving Artis a free opening duel of whether he's quicker at the shot than you are.
He is.
And he is. Most of the time, he's going to be. Oh, wow. Heretics actually rivaling the Footwatch party we saw last year as well. I didn't think anybody would get even close to that, but that's a hell of a lot of people ready to watch their team play. Obviously, that's sort of the mountain of pressure that's put on Heretics. So you talk about this team, expectations of getting top 4, I think people would have been happy with that. But now that they're 1 away, just a single match that decides everything, well, the Heretics fans are out in full force.
Well, that would be a lot of pressure regardless of the event, Tom, but considering the fact that it is in Madrid, of all places, for this squad, you can only imagine. There's no more Spanish players within the running, but there's still one Spanish organization, one chance for the home fans to have someone to cheer for on that opening day. Na'Vi looking to break those dreams here, and perhaps they'll go in as the villains if they do. Eliminating them at such a late hurdle.
I think they always kind of do.
Yeah, true.
I'll be honest with you.
True.
I think Angel's always going to be a little bit of a villain, but I also think he enjoys it. I think he's the only person I've ever seen to tweet to not follow him.
Yeah, an unfollower giveaway.
And he gained a lot of followers from that. So they're just Angel things. Speak of the man, he shall appear. Got no utility yet left, so he might as well go pushing. Already a decent trade for the side of Heretics, but Miniboo is very low on HP. Stun does its job, but not really available to go in for the peek, and it leaves... Oh, they're actually going to peek into the aftershock. Zagetsu really wanting that kill. And while Artis using the... There you go. I knew you wanted to say it. Like, the first time, you know?
It's been a while. It's been a while. I'll tell you that. Yeah, Artis is having a lights-out game, 7-3 right now. Already burned up his ultimate in that previous round. Gave him that little bit of an eco boost. And I think for Heretics, and that lead slip out of their hands is expected. This is a round where they came in without a lot to play with. It was a scrappy fight, one with opportunities, but the utility ultimately just chopped them up a little bit too much. This is where they have a real fight, though, where they'll be able to get themselves back into it. Some ultis online, rifles in hand, and an early attempt to get aggressive. Shao under a lot of threat. Miniboo took that one quick as can be, blink and you miss it, but there's still 2 players from Na'Vi here, ready to defend.
This is the value. You can already see Shao. He never expected anybody to be there that fast. Nightfall thrown in, but it's gonna miss at least a couple of the players.
A marked 4, she said.
Yeah, I think it must have clipped one of the players that got around the corner. Even still, the ult will slow them down. It has given Na'Vi an opportunity to rotate in, potentially put Artis into position. He's going to be there with the operator. His position will be revealed, but peeking into it would have some pretty big risks about it. And Angel goes wide and has support.
Rolling Thunder used up as well. The retake of space. The players aren't stunned up. Benji Fishy good to take the fight with Zipan down. That ult was burned very early, very aggressively. You can see the idea, but they must have thought they were further up elbow than they actually were. The side of Heretics happy to take that kill onto a charging Zipan. And Artis Well, he has somewhere to retreat to at least, so he's going to be posted up, and of course, he hits that shot, goes out for more. This man will not be deterred. He won't be scared away. He's even heard that shrouded step, I think, by the looks of his crosshair placement. Seemed to expect another player to have crossed.
A rotation from Sugetsu a little bit further away. Just looking to try and wrap back around, try and find some space. Benji in a position to fight him, but this 1v1 could be everything. Well, this is not going to miss another shot. 3 kills for him, off to a flyer of a start. And NAVI, well, they're going to double up on their lead.
4-2. Yeah, that's a strong scoreline on the other side, and I think this is where Heretics might start to get a little bit worried. We haven't seen it yet, but we could see a pause from this squad after such a great opening duel. And I think it's fair to say some advantages thrown away. Artist manages to cleave back that second kill to at least trade out Angel, but it's the fact that you see some of these players being caught out, like Zipan, rolling Thunder used, goes pushing, gets dropped. Add to that the opening duel they had, I think they're going to be pretty upset to have let that one slip. And yeah, as predicted, they go for a pause. Team Heretics need to go back to the drawing board here because it started out well. Things have definitely slipped out of their hands.
Yeah, well, ever since the guns came into play, it seems like Na'Vi have been pretty dominant, and they haven't really had much of a response to Ardis' aggression. 10-3 at the top of the board. The mid control as well from Sugetsu has been pretty much spot on, and as you said, I feel like there were a couple of pieces of utility there from Na'Vi that maybe didn't have the impact that they should have done, but they still managed to convert the round anyway. Like, it made absolutely no difference. And I'm wondering what will be the adaptation to sort of shut this man down. Because again, we talk about the individuals on the Heretic side. Miniboo has been sublime, and I think #1 as said in a lot of stats, but Boo's also been up there as well. Like, he has been unbelievable. I think he is the #1 rated player in the tournament so far. Currently 1-5. It's early days, but you kind of hope for their sake that he's going to get back into that form again.
Well, yeah, especially when you look at a team like Na'Vi on the other side. This is a squad that will be coming in firing on all cylinders. Yeah. Artis is out for revenge. I don't even think they've done anything to him. He just likes taking people down, ruining their days.
You know, he was on that roster for a bit. Heretics?
How far back you want to go in history? You think he holds a grudge?
We are going back. He didn't do well on that team, so maybe he does.
I'll show you. Well, right now, Na'Vi have been denied their early aggression. The pick hasn't come through as it has in the past. Something to work with for the side of Heretics, still having that extra man and the ulti pop. Hunter's Fury caught one burst and even hit Zipan as well, but no kills to come off the back. Good trade to start it out. Zipan's got one. He's out for free. He's swinging through with his teammates, and they're taking every fight they can. Na'Vi going for a scrappy round and one that's led them ahead. Only one player still standing. Patatek needs a revive, and Xiao and Angel will not let that happen. Rian's down to 7 HP, and there's nowhere to go. A minute on the clock, but 2 players right around that corner. He did well to at least isolate a 1v1 duel, but he didn't win it. And with 7 HP, I can't say I'm surprised. Out of the pause, no success is found.
Yeah, and the thing is that, like, Heretics had a really cool idea. So one of the things they do is basically just TP into a spot that they're already in, and you can already see the sheer doubt. Like, I'm pretty sure every single member of Na'Vi, as they were running past spawn, checked if he was there. Yeah. Like, is he in spawn? Is he in spawn? Put a little bit of doubt in their mind, but it didn't seem to matter. Full rotation, gambled the majority of their players over onto this site, and the fast-paced push just didn't work out. And what I want to give credit to Na'Vi for, which is no surprise, like, this is a team that's been around with a bit of a break for a very long time. The interplay from them so far has been perfect. Like, each time it's been tradable fights, especially when they've got into 2v1s or even 2v2s. They've been winning every single one of those battles.
One of the benefits of having your team together for so long is that you can start to focus on those things because you've already built everything else. You've built your strategies, your comms, and how you like to play the map, who fills what roles.
Their comms. I think that changes every day.
Yeah, to be fair. Speaking about most teams, that's true. With Na'Vi,
I think it's the other way around. They have such good synergy that then they can do whatever they want with the comms.
Whatever the hell we want to do. Yeah, but the protocols are one of the key things, like the identity of your team, and they've got that well and truly figured out at this stage. At least Angel does. I'm not sure anyone else gets to say. That's one hell of a peek from Angel, and it's all part of the plan, you know? Yeah. Peek in with utility, they'll panic, they'll peek you, and then Xiao will spray 2 through the smoke. You know, if you didn't see this one coming from the very start of the round, then you just don't know Valorant. I'm sorry, but this is textbook play. Flawless. Andalusia flawless, to be precise.
Yeah, that was basically 0 damage done. And that's the other thing for Heretics thus far throughout this tournament. We are looking at a team that has been able to basically just go through without actually having any real problems. Like they 2-0'd KC, they 2-0'd Foot. That's the spot that they found themselves in to get through to this stage. So we don't know what will happen if they lose a map. And I know it sounds ridiculous because they've made it to top 4, but that's how the format has worked for them. So realistically, we're now looking to see, okay, can this team respond? Can they do it? Because they haven't really had to. And Na'Vi, well, we know they can. They've had too many times. They lost the first map of the tournament to BBL.
Yeah. I mean, it can be tough for this squad facing new challenges this late in the tournament with such high stakes. But that's what it's all about. Got to see those adaptations, and so far, Heretics have done well. In this round, already picking off Xiao. A big smoker removed, and with that controller out of play, it's Sagetsu that has a lot of, well, control on the map. He's gone for a Viper's Pit in B main, has a wall going across middle as well. This can block a lot of vision for Team Heretics if they weren't already past it. The idea being the other place it will send them is towards this angle, straight into Artis, who's just locking down A all by himself.
Yeah, that's the benefit of him being able to TP away. Still, decent trade, Miniboo again. Being able to keep things in their favor for now. Time starting to tick down, and, well, basically A main and B main are completely locked off without their knowledge. Now, the push through from Benji could reveal quite a bit, but instead they are going to end up pushing into this man, and he has been an utter menace thus far. Finally, Artis will be revealed. That will mean he has to fall back, and they're going to try and put the pressure on.
He's faking the full fallback, though. Look, he immediately goes forward. They were wise to it. Paranoia used. No free kill for Artis this time. Instead, the punish as he attempts to re-enter the angle. Miniboo was waiting. Zipban's walked in and done so much damage. He was close to taking Boo as well. The bullet just below the head, but he'll survive.
10 seconds.
Heretics with 2 players alive in a 2 versus 1. Sagetsu already used his Viper's Pit right off rip at the start of the round, so that's no longer in play. The wall already put down as well, and it's not really doing much for him. Blocking off one angle that he doesn't really need to be worried about, and coming through this smoke, that should be the end of it. Right into Boo. Team Heretics with another round found. They're closing the gap, but they've still only got half of what Navi are putting on the board. With 3 left to fight for in the half, it's anyone's game, but Navi certainly looking favored.
Yeah, I think this was definitely a showcase of how good Miniboo has been in this tournament. Like, the fact is, we've spoken about how good Artis is, but he just peeked into the angle and took him down. Like, that is how fast this guy is. And we saw him in the... I feel like he doubles up, because he was in the Spanish League last year. He now joins this team as well. I feel like he's got to be a favorite for the fans.
He's done his time.
Yeah.
So to speak.
I can tell you someone who's not going to be a favorite for the fans. Got any more signs today?
I've got a few, and a few to recycle as well. Well, we'll see. We'll see how things go. Maybe they need some tweaks to them, some Photoshop. Navi already picking up the opening on a Miniboo, but the trade is instantaneous.
Same angle again.
They've got the control, they've got the space to work with. Door going to be closed, but it's to no effect. Team Heretics are all in. They've played for B main, and now they'll play back into it with 3 players going back, 1 staying close, and using the Shrouded Step to get out of there, avoiding the Nightfall that was on its way, the nightmare that could have taken them, consumed them. As Boo will look to cause some nightmares of his own. A smoke close, allowing the spam. The Rolling Thunder hard to connect on it, having to run through that smoke. Potential players unstunned, ready to fight. Benji Fishy was one. Spray is good. It's massive from Boo. Through his own smoke, he stopped the defuse and stopped Navi in their tracks. 4 rounds for Team Heretics. It ain't over yet.
Yeah, it genuinely seems like the B main after plant from them is just perfect. Like, they've got so much utility to just place onto the spike, and then just from that position, a firing squad. The only real blip was Xiao over the top, but everything else, even with the ultimates again, that's another round where we've seen Nightfall and the Rolling Thunder thrown in, and not really having the effect that Navi have wanted, which in those sort of retake scenarios should be better effective. Now again, financially, no real problems for Navi yet. You win 6 rounds in a row and relatively clean. You're going to have those finances available to you. But even still, as said, I'm looking at this composition, and other than basically Angel playing as a duelist, I do question where your sort of opening duels are going to come from. Is it just going to be these really slow, classic Navi defaulty rounds? Or is there going to be someone taking that initial aggression? Because that's why you play a Raze. That's why you play the Neon. It gets you that extra opening duel if you need it. They don't have anything.
I've seen a lot of words coming from the coaching staff to start, and Angel putting the final polish on it on the side of NAVI. Not happy with how things have gone, and I do think that's one of the things, you know, it's funny to highlight Zipan. The guy is top fragging on their squad. He's having a good game. I do think those Rolling Thunders could be better utilized, but it's not a Zipan thing necessarily.
No.
It's when they're used and how the team responds to it. There is some polishing there, but that's something they're working on, as you can see with that pause. 2 rounds left to play for, and it could still be tied up at the half for Team Heretics. And we haven't seen these teams play this. We don't know how it's going to fare when we swap sides, but I think it's fair to say with Heretics having picked this, it's a good chance NAVI have put some stock in their defense.
Yeah. But to be honest, I think I was going to say realistically, this should be both teams' better side, but we'll have to wait and see. Not a great start. Again, it's just this aggression coming out from the defensive side, and well, with a little bit of help from a stun, that kill's almost too easy for Xiao. After a pause, I don't know if these were mass changes that were made by the side of NAVI. I guess they just wanted to deny them B main control, and Artis did that. And then Xiao just killed them the second they went mid.
Yeah, I don't know if the full intention is to bait them into the mid play, but Artis, yeah, okay, for the barrel length, he swaps. And while the rate of fire didn't help him out all too much there, Boo dropping Artis right off rip. 4 versus 2. Team Heretics blinded up. Great shot from Xiao. He's 5 HP. Repositioning too. He just needs to hold the control. He said his HP isn't ideal to take a duel, but he's got teammates coming in who've got all the health in the world. There they are. Zipan swinging with Angel to close that round out. 7-4. 1 more round and a half.
Yeah, I actually, Boo nearly gets that kill while completely blind. Like, it's so ridiculously close, but this is, again, just the value coming out of Artis, just taking half the map completely away from them, and you see the reaction from the side of Heretics is to try and put pressure in onto mid, some decent supportive utility, but more importantly, just the Xiao Show returns. Able to move himself up the board, and for NAVI, as said, 7 rounds, already looking like a solid defensive side. I think the majority of teams have definitely had their favor on the attack, or I think the only exception, at least from EMEA, is Carmichael.
They had their rougher share of things.
No, well, their defense was just insane. That's what it was. I think it was 8+ rounds every defense Carmine Corp have had on this.
Oh, I didn't even track that, yeah. Okay. We'll be seeing them later up against Fnatic. That's that was a
see if they can keep it up.
That was yeah, exactly.
Or if Fnatic
that's going to be the real test.
Do Fnatic continue to just ban the new map?
Maybe, maybe. I mean, up against KC, they've been a squad that upsets everybody. But well, I was surprised to see that the predictions are quite so off kilter, shall we say? KC fans know how to make their way to the Twitter polls. Let's say that the EMEA channel is flooded with them. I think it's like 70+% in favor of KC closing it out.
I respect it.
I don't know if our analyst desk will give them the same odds, but well, we'd all love to see them go all the way to Madrid.
35 seconds though. This has been a much slower round. Timing.
So nasty.
Oh, no, Artis again. Always catching them off guard. They're going to use the space taken to try and get into the side by Xiao for a 2nd round in a row. This is going to mow them down. And what can Rians do from this position? 20 seconds left. Spike on the site. 5 players to find. I wish you the best of luck, but I don't think anything's going to be coming from this one. Xiao even making his move in towards the spawn. He wants another frag. And, well, the fact is, this round is already done. It's just about padding those stats.
And he's done exactly that. A 4th kill for Xiao. NAVI closing this one out with a pretty strong statement. They've given 2 rounds, kicking it off. The pistol loss and the follow-up, and that was half of what Heretics found. Artis is a menace. So his lurks have been so annoying to deal with. This guy is going to be playing slow pushes into your spawn, running it down on A, grabbing the op angle, and just holding that control. Control that should be utility and possibly 2 players holding it. Instead, it's 1 guy with a sniper who has an instant retreat after he takes a shot, and he has an insane hit rate on those shots as well, closing the half 13-7. Xiao did exactly the same. This is tough. When NAVI come out firing on all cylinders like this, there's almost no way to put them back, to quiet them down. Team Heretics now on their defense will have to slow this push from NAVI. And look, on the attack side, I think at least Artis will be a little bit less irritating. He won't be locking down the angles in quite the same way. He might find a new way to cause the hair loss.
It genuinely does, at least initially, look like it's going to be Angel leading the charge. And some of these fights, Xiao just goes running into the cage. Just sheer disrespect to what's on the defensive side. And in the meantime, Artis has just gone walking through. Now, I feel like this should be known, especially once the second player goes, but that doesn't necessarily mean they'll know that somebody could be as far forward as Artis is.
Spike planted.
It's a later rotation with Boo, everybody splitting up into their own angles. Mini Boo, though. He's crept by a PC utility. That spot was being watched by Angel incrementally. It's going to be a matter of timing as to whether he wins it out or not. And indeed, Mini Boo falls. So too does Rian. So Boo is alone. And having picked up Artis, they know where he is. Again, we'll see the same thing that plagued NAVI on their defensive side. It's this tight plant, a very narrow angle that you can defuse on. And they've got utility to reveal you, to spam you down. They know at this point he's probably not defusing. Now he's tapped it again. Stun comes through. Good luck to you. 49 HP already. And then Zipan steps in to close it out. There was almost no way, short of him running in and hitting the 2 quickest headshots you've ever seen. That's 9 rounds for NAVI, edging closer to the close of this map. And Tom, again, you know, I feel like this has happened in most of our series. This is the map pick of Heretics, and it's gotten off to a terrible start.
Yeah, I think just how good we saw NAVI on the defense. Artis catching them every time they would go for some of these pacier hits and just shutting down so much map control, and now losing the second pistol. Gives them 1 apiece, but they now need to try and find a response. They've gone for a few sheriffs, a little bit extra to try and play with for this round, but ultimately not a whole lot in comparison to the 3 rifles that are on the other side.
But we saw what damage can be done with these kind of weapons. In fact, NAVI had less to work with in terms of pistols bought. In terms of bullets bought, Artis did invest a little bit more, obviously, having his headhunter to work with.
He had a Guardian, basically.
Yeah, essentially. And he did some serious damage with it. Benji Fishy, though, he'll do it with a classic. That's his full kill on Angel. And he's back over now, picking up a Sheriff for the upgrade. Keeping the numbers even in a round like this is already impressive. It's forcing NAVI to group up and play this one together. It's already cost them a rifle with a clean kill from Mini Boo, and they know Benji is still around here. The only unknown quantity is Boo. But with Artis down, there's no trap to cover their back. Boo can creep his way on through. The only question is if NAVI are going to leave this open, if they're going to be checking it. Oh, I like it. I love it. The smoke. This is a clear sell from Heretics. They're telling NAVI, we're both in spawn. We're both in market. Just, we're not in main. Why would we smoke it off? Trying to block an angle for you. And that might just open the door for Boo. He's creeping his way through. It's being watched by Angel. It's a matter of timing. And it looks like he swung at just the wrong moment. Those players not quite in his vision, and when they are, Xiao is trained in on him. Unlucky. Really nice try, though.
Yeah, leaves it on to Benji. Sheriff in hand, but still so much to try and do, to try and turn back into their favor, and they're doubled up. He'd need to hit some crazy shots to get that one out of there, and it's going to be another triple kill for Xiao. He is coming to today, padding those stats. As they now hit double digits, this is looking bleak for the side of Heretics, and NAVI, they might just be speed running their way to Madrid.
Yeah, with their map pick up next, and it's not. I don't have a lot of faith in Breeze for Heretics, just because of how NAVI are already lights out on this and how they've played so far. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Breeze has been a pretty strong map for this squad.
Yeah, no, NAVI, they're 2-0, 13-7, 13-6, Liquid and BBL. And their defensive sides have been 7-1 and 9-3 with a Yoru comp.
Yeah, it's really tough to play against them. And you never know coming into this game. They might even have other ideas up their sleeve. This is the game where you'd pull them out. But with 10-4 in the lead, it doesn't look like there's much flair needed to the NAVI side right now. They are just winning this game outright. Every single avenue they approach, victory is at the other end. See if Heretics can put up that roadblock already, being forced out of position. NAVI are not being caught off guard, and they have the utility to constantly clear these angles and push Heretics onto the back foot. All the while, by the way, just hoping that maybe they get aggressive on A, and someone like Sagetsu can grab that lurk kill that you know he's capable of. Now as they shift direction, it's going to be Artis that's trying to pick him off.
Panitek knifed just a second ago and it didn't reveal anything, and now that's actually where Na'Vi have just slowly maneuvered their way towards. It means that he's basically alone. He has some support from the utility of his teammate. There is a cam available for Benji to potentially spot, but I don't know if he's going to be there to help soon enough to really do too much. And in the meantime, Ardis has been selling this ruse. Now Panitek has to go big on the site.
Benji's close, but what can he do with that util? Like you said, it's all on to Panitek to at least put up a good hold, buy them some time, get some kills. Benji spamming through has picked up Xiao, and now the flash is going to go in. Here comes the peek on the back of it. Great play from Heretics. A crunch that's crushed Navi's momentum and left Ardis in a 1v5 that he has no business winning. Barely any seconds left on the clock in the time. What was that shot? That was precise, and it was quick. But it's not clean enough. He'd need 4 more of those in a second or so. 10-5 we go. Half of the rounds for Heretics again.
That's a man that's doing his aim training. That was so quick to just hit that final headshot. I love the setup though. The setup here is really cool because it basically involves Benji using his utility from outside of the site so that, like, if a stray bullet hits him, it wouldn't have mattered. Well, if he was on the site and it hits him, all of his util goes down. Instead, he's outside. Panitek's fighting with flashes, and he's putting up utility around him to keep him safe. Just a nice little idea. Also means he couldn't be hit by anything that could potentially deny that utility in general. Nice round from Heretics, but as you said, they need a lot more of those if they're going to be winning this map.
Cover going out.
Bring them down.
Well, Trap already dealt with some util to slow reveal as well. Benji wasn't spotted initially, and they can't deal with him. One by one, they fall on the side of Navi. And with market truly locked down, there's nowhere else to look. Benji's even trained in to find Ardis. Zipban alone. The same spot Ardis was in the last round rather. 1 versus 5, a rifle in his hands, an entire platoon of enemies to take down. They're posted up, ready to go.
Wonder where he is.
They're just going to wait for him to step out of main or step back into the waiting arms of Boo.
I like that. Boo's trying to get himself the kill. He's put the smoke down. He's like, yes, come back. In the other direction. 40 seconds. He can just wait it out. The fact is, for Zipan, saving the gun wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. Financially, his team aren't exactly in the greatest of spots going into the next round. Although,
30 seconds
I don't know if Ardis will have tour de force available. It might give them something to play with. And he knows at this stage that if there's that many players and they're putting a smoke, there has to be someone behind him. Not going to be able to retreat onto the A site, but it is all about just holding onto that gun, having something remaining for the next round, and he wins the duel. Boo was literally waiting there for about a minute, but it doesn't matter. It looks like Zipan's going to be able to hold onto the gun.
Yes, patience didn't pay off there, I suppose. It's Zipan taking the knife out, that little bit of extra movement speed. It makes all the difference, I suppose. 10-6, 4 rounds between them. It doesn't seem like a lot, but Navi are so close to pushing this over the line. It has to be a near flawless set of rounds from Team Heretics to fight their way back through. And Navi, well, they'll at least experience some difficulties here, some weaknesses. Good to see Benji activated in a round like that as well. Hasn't had a bad game. We talk a lot about Mini Boo in this map. Benji's been matching his performance, and I think that's certainly something to write home about, that Sentinel being able to lock down control. The challenge will not be towards Benji this time. Instead, it's Mini Boo, and he's not losing this challenge! What? The damage is massive. Only 3 of those kills are for him, but that's 3 more than I'd give him credit for, swinging into the full force of Navi. They even suspect where Ardis is, smelling the blood in the water.
Mini Boo tried to spam the box to get the 4th kill. I love that. Panitek's like, I'll set up the flash, I'll peek, my kill. Mini Boo's like, if I hit the last bullet, maybe I'll just steal this one. But it is. Great round from there. I like the trap setups that they're having. Andaluthia flawless as well. It's just cool ideas. Like, you can see that Na'Vi on the other side didn't have a mass amount of weaponry to play with. I think it was just a hero rifle coming in for Ardis, but they had a little trap set up ready to shut them down. And that's the thing. When Heretics have got moving, when that momentum has been in their favor, this is where this team has truly obliterated a lot of their opponents. That's not the best start, though. Same thing attempted again. Mini Boo looking to try and take over the game, and Ardis silences him within seconds.
Well, this is it. When you've got a player that's winning rounds off the back of getting aggressive, you're likely to get aggressive with him. So
Yeah.
Navi make the play to just pump the
Especially
brakes.
if they're on Neon.
Yes, yes. You know, you're not going to find the value by holding an angle till they peek you. So this is somewhere that Navi make the right read. This guy's going to get aggro, stack up A. He might do it there again, leave Artist to lurk on mid. And if he pushes B main, we'll just play it for the information. It is what it is. They've certainly cast out their net and caught a fair amount of fish. A good haul for the side of Navi with a 5 versus 4. And Team Heretics not having a ton of ultimates to fall back on. At least a null command for Patatek, but as we can see, he's on the wrong side of the map. Some aggression taking place up towards A main, and even a third player on that side from Heretics. Meanwhile, the man that we've praised just a little bit earlier on, Benji Fishy, is having some trouble. You can see he's fallen back towards the spawn to try and cover that back angle, leaving his traps to play the site. The camera has been destroyed, and that's drawing some rotations. But Sagetsu's got himself into a perfect position for this. Both players with their backs turned, and Artist might be a little peeved to die like that, but his teammate got the trade nice and clean. And with that, there seems to be no way this falls awry. They haven't cleared Benji. They haven't even seen him, but they're watching for him. And they have found the kill just in time.
It's crispy aim all the way through, and while after what was a really clean round in the last for Heretics, just moments later, Navi bounced back with 4 players surviving. Again, I think it was just expecting a lot of what they were going to do, and then just a sneaky little play coming through the back for Sagetsu. Heretics going to take themselves a pause, a chance for the Brits to have a little bit of chat with the guys.
Well, you know, it's an old strategy to make that much noise when you're running at your opponents. A matter of honor sometimes. The only problem is it gives away the fact that you're there. Maybe the sheer tempo can cause them to be stunned, or the fault line as well. That could help out. But if it misses, that's where the trouble comes through. I love Rian's locks, you know, looking good these days.
I wonder if that was someone from production who did that, or one of his teammates. that's the question
There's
I have.
no
Is changed it. We'll never know.
It was
we'll never know.
It was Casso with the big laments.
But yeah, this is a huge moment for Heretics. They've started to gain some momentum, quickly shut down. Tour de Force available as well for Artists if they need it. And they have a couple of ults of their own. Potential to remove some utility and send Minibu in flying. But the question is, what is going to be the plan? Because as we've sort of witnessed, a lot of what you're going to get from that Neon on this defensive side is aggressive pushes with some cool utility combos. That's only going to work so many times. You have to try and catch Navi off guard. And they are very happy to play these slower pace rounds and try and sort of weave their way through the gaps in your defense. Because especially on a map like Sunset, there always seems to be somewhere with a gap.
You want to play? Let's play.
Well, you're not going to be canceling out the fun times happening on the other side of the map. Team Heretics seeing nothing on A. There is one player sitting outside of it, as per usual. Sagetsu left on the lurk, but the real danger in this round is the man with the big golden gun in hand. It's Artis, having popped his ult, and he'll be left to cause havoc. Now, we've seen this a number of rounds from Artis. Sitting around this position, he'll grab a pistol or something to shoot up towards where the camera usually is in the window, make some noise, and hope that somebody goes swinging into him. If they don't, well, the slow contact towards A usually works late in the round. I like how Navi have been playing this, because so far, it's not like Heretics have had an answer outside of their trap plays, their quick responses to map control being seized. Doesn't look like they've got one set up necessarily either. This is somewhere that Heretics are going to have to take individual duels, and I think the first might be Rien's. He's already walking down towards mid, and it looks like Heretics have the idea to crunch 2 players in market, 2 to top mid, postured on the angles, ready for a fight. Stun was good. Ult is popped. Minibu's good for more, and he's out. He's bought himself some time.
Yeah, and that's decent as well. That gets rid of Angel. That's a lot of your information setups. Now, they do have a Rolling Thunder. I assume if you were ever going to use it, this would be it. Minibu able to quickly get into position. And now, well, with the null command, it's actually not going to be that ultimate available. That's going to be a big problem for Navi. 15 seconds coming up on the clock for them to try and make their move. A fragment to delay them, a smoke in the way. If they are going to go for this, it has to be now, but they get the entry onto Minibu. Panatek holding strong, though, and that might just be enough. The spam has dropped that spike, leaving just 2 players remaining, and they can just hide out for the remainder of the round. Artist will take one with him. But the fact is, Heretics have managed to bounce back, and a lot of it is off the back of Patatek.
Well, 2 kills before the timer went out, and he cleaned house afterwards. 8-11. You know, when we were looking at a much wider gap between these teams, even just at 10-6, it felt like Navi might gain control of this. and turn it into their favor. Now, though, we're seeing these responses from the side of Heretics. The mid-control idea was nice. 4 players looking to crunch. Navi threw a lot of utility back at them. They were throwing their smokes, using their stuns, and forcing them off angles, particularly in market. I don't think that went the way Heretics wanted off rip. Good stun, though. Oh, this is fantastic. Early aggression could get a lot of space for the side of Navi, but they've just forced them back instead. And I think what they're missing is Miniboo, someone on a Neon to quickly seize that space after the stun and punish the kills. They don't have that, so not able to quite force those mistakes the same. And then they go walking into these angles. Miniboo just doesn't miss.
Yeah, this is basically what I was saying in the first half. Is like, is it just going to be Angel basically just taking firefights? And it's like, I don't know, especially versus Miniboo, you ain't going to be winning it. Now they rely on Artis doing the same thing, just walking up mid. It's where the holes really sort of lie within this attack side, is they just don't have a space taker on one by one. It's individual fights. And Heretics have won all of them.
And it was what you said starting it out, right? Because you're saying about the space taker, and the first point you made when we saw these compositions come through is the fact that Raze has been so popular, and you don't have that on either team. Now, we can understand why Heretics on the attack side are replacing Raze, how they're doing it, because Miniboo is the space taker. He's the guy round the corner, quick as can be. We saw it especially towards elbow, like Xiao getting cut off in some of the rounds. And I want to believe, I really do. There's so many players, so little time. Spike down, but he's already picked up 2. Got a Rolling Thunder to work with as well. 2 flashes, but 20 seconds on the clock. He's got to run, and he's got to do it now. There's players watching the cross, and simply no way. I would call it here. 10 seconds on the clock. They will just run the clock down till he goes for the plant, take the swing together, or on their own, and finish it out. Nicely done. But yeah, back to that point, it's Navi. They don't have that solution, and I think in these rounds, in the last couple in particular, we're seeing how they struggle to not take the map control, but to actually take a kill, to punish any map control that was taken by Heretics.
I think also we've seen the last couple of rounds at least that Miniboo has gone for positions where he can take a fight, but he can get out of there. And I think that's the main thing that I want to be focusing on, is the round where he ran down mid. That for me is too much, because that's in a position where there's no escape.
Yeah.
If you go down, you give them the advantage. Navi can trade very effectively. The composition doesn't really harper them too much there. The problem is if no one gives them that fight and you're just chilling, and then it's like, okay, Angel's gonna swing into Miniboo. Who's winning that fight? Miniboo.
A bold statement, Tom, but one that I struggle to disagree with. I do think that's some of the problem here. The old Angel space taking up against Miniboo. Those opening duels have been convincingly in favor of Team Heretics. They're back on the board. They've gotten, what, 5 out of the last 6 rounds? If you're on the side of Navi for the first time, you're starting to get worried. This could slip out of your hands. And like people have been saying, this matchup, it's favored to Navi. They're definitely the favorites on paper. But it's not going to be the biggest surprise in the world. Our jaws will not be permanently stuck on the floor if Heretics do it, because the signs have been there.
Me 2 weeks ago.
100%. You even tell me Heretics are in this position 2 weeks ago, I'm sending you to get a lobotomy. But this is where we are. This is reality. And I think Heretics have earned it every step of the way. That's the key thing. They have taken everybody's perceptions and changed it. Benji, move. Okay, all good, all good.
Oh, okay, this is a much faster pace looking.
Angel's out.
Angel is out with the spike on his own, but nobody has managed to stop him. Artis has been caught. Trade back for Benji. He just goes swinging. Keeps things even for now, and they may not even know the Panic is still in this corner. They have absolutely no idea. Just the snake in the grass hiding, and they're doubling up to try and put the pressure on Sugetsu, looking to try and trade things back. Rians will do just that, and now Artis! Ooh.
And there's the close-up for the dub. Rians with a big play. 2 kills, closing out that round, shutting down embarrassing Artis on the wide swing, I'd say.
I don't know. I think Artis may have embarrassed himself.
Yeah, that's true. It was a little bit whiffy, but
I don't think that was intentional by his opponent.
Oh yeah. Let's slow that one down. Let's get that one in the replay. 11-10, and we saw the Heretics fans on their feet in the cinema back home. Now it's got to be getting loud in that cinema. I'll be surprised if you can hear gunshots go off when Heretics are taking fights, because they are looking so good. Picked it back to a 1-round gap, and the momentum is in their favor. Xiao's dead. Oh, hello?
Somehow
Reflash done.
he's still alive.
There
The
we
thing
go.
is, the rest of the team are not even remotely close. Like, they are just making their way through elbow. Sugetsu has managed to find one, though, onto Miniboo.
For a smoke. Just blind fire.
Okay, Angel's got another one. This is starting to get interesting. They've had to use the Hunter's Fury. There's chance for real damage here. A second player, low, almost connects onto Zipan. Spike in the way. But it is going to be the plant. Somehow this looks doable. Unlikely, but doable.
Well, we had two spams through the smoke, essentially the yin and yang trading each other out. But then the Hunter's Fury, it's pulled it back in favor. Zipan's so low, damage is done. Information is there to play with as well. Benji's just locked them in, put him in a box, and it's only Zipan left. 45 HP, 25 HP, and a Sheriff. A dream. No, down, and he's got two! The collat! Benji's on it, right under his nose! Zipan has no idea! He's made the play of his life, but Benji shut him down anyways. 11-11, not even breaking a smirk as they equalize. Heretics are locked in to close out map 1.
Oh my god. Can we get, I think it's about 5,000 new pairs of trousers to the Heretics watch party? Because everybody must have just clenched at the same time. Like, that is absurd. He's just managed to collat headshot while on 25. Just utter filth. And well, yeah, Benji, balls of steel, just to stick that all the way. Like, I think everybody was terrified.
Can you imagine if he sticks that, gets swung, dies, it's all over Twitter, Reddit, he's gone. He's out of the scene. There's no coming back.
It would be probably the second most embarrassing thing after what he said about that Koi game.
Yeah, last year press conference, he still hasn't lived that down, but you know what? It might be egg on our face. We can't make fun of him anymore if he makes it all the way to Madrid.
Fair play.
I think already he's earned that respect back, but wow, 11-11. I didn't think we were getting here. Navi looked like they were running away with things, but impressive defensive side from Heretics so far.
7 of the last 8 rounds, I think.
Yes, yes.
We are seeing the holes in that Navi comp. Looking to try and build up in towards this B site once again. And look at the rotation already. You can see once the information is not had on the other side, once the aggressive pushes come through from Boo, they're already going to catch the artist is here. Although that kind of sells a little bit of a ruse because he normally lurks. He's normally playing mid. He's normally hiding behind. Again, Nightfall going to be going through. Might have caught Benji, and it's not going to catch Padatek. So yeah, no, they got absolutely no. They just got Benji. That doesn't help them much at all.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I like the idea to at least wait it out. But for Heretics now, they've even popped in the null command, slowed down this push from Navi. No utility, like you said, Tom. No Viper's Pit to save the day. Navi need to do it with rifles, and they found Padatek. But a double man blitz coming in from Market any second now as the smoke fades. Benji on the first. He's been so good in these fights, and he needs to be better because Rienz is falling. Out goes the paranoia. They tried to deny the defuse. The time is low, but it's done. It's being planted. It's being found. Zipan still putting up a fight. And with Benji down, the numbers are even, but Mini Boo so desperately low. Boo needs to make a big play. The brothers trying to clutch it out, but only one stands. Full HP on Boo, but he doesn't know there's a player right up beside him. Zipan shutting down the hopes of Team Heretics in regulation. Overtime. Now the last lifeline for the Spanish fans on map number 1.
It's just, but they haven't managed to streak rounds together other than the pistol in second. So although the pressure now sits with Heretics, the fact is they've been good for it so far in the defensive side. I think the main thing that's going to come down is whether or not Navi have an idea and whether or not they may have a blunder. I think that's the only thing that can really stop them at this stage. 12-11. No problems in terms of having their utility available. The credits very much in their hands. Miniboo again is going to go for this aggressive play. But just look at the positions currently being held by Navi. They are sat back waiting for the first sort of 10, 15 seconds of the round because they know that this guy is coming to get him.
It's been so impressive, this defensive side. I think a big factor of it has been Benji Fishy for me. He's a player that a lot of people
Paddy's
talk
been
about.
Insane as well.
Paddy's been nuts, but I think Paddy played at top level before. Benji, I'd heard and I'd read these rumors. Oh, he's not ready for the top level yet. He's not there yet. Well, it certainly looks like it here, and no better team than Navi. As I said, 5 times in a row, this squad has been at international events. When they had artists, they were winning them, and now they're back with him. Team Heretics, a huge line in the sand, already drawn a great start. A tough start to the series, actually, and then they bounce back into it. one away with 45 seconds on the clock. This defense is going to be tested one more time, and it looks like Navi have their eyes set on B.
Yeah, they spotted Angel a while ago. 35 seconds on the clock as they do now look to make their move. Miniboo has rotated into position in order to try and support. Aftershock actually sent through just to destroy the trip, but Miniboo there, as said, they didn't have that expectation of him to just swing that. Now the cage is up, the smoke is up. Navi are going to have to go running straight through. This paranoia does help them a little bit, but it is a slaughter on the site, leaving just Sugetsu standing. 10 seconds left. Well, he'll take one for his troubles, but planting this should be impossible as he is lasered down through the pit, and Heretics have brought it to overtime.
Well, I'll give it to them. One of the questions we had about this Heretics roster coming into today, how do they handle it when times get tough? When they lose a map? Well, I'll tell you what, going to an overtime, it's almost as bad as losing the map. Stress here going to be higher than ever. One mistake, and this series you've just fought the last hour to win. The map, at least, it slips out of your hand.
That's the thing. I think there's pressure when losing a map, but there's also pressure being 10-4 down. And that's the scenario they found themselves in literally 15 minutes ago. They have risen to the occasion. They have shown they could go toe-to-toe with a great within EMEA. Like the core of this team of what, Angel, Xiao, they've been around for a while, Zipan. Going back to the very beginning of Valorant, they've been competing at the very top level. A lot of these players, you're talking about people just last year coming through the VCL system. In fact, well, other than Panitek, who, bear in mind, is not meant to be here.
Yep.
You're looking at players like Boo, who are the ones with the most experience. Someone we talk about on Oglu in the past. Like, this is a long, long way from there.
Yeah.
Top 4 already within EMEA, competing with a giant. The question is, can Goliath take them down?
Last time Patatek was seen on these screens within this studio, this very same space in Berlin, a long time ago in First Strike, and he found victory there. Now back on the same stage. Looks a little different.
This team's not even in our region anymore.
Yeah,
That's how long ago that was.
They're out of here. But
to be fair, neither is the FPX.
True also.
We're talking about days when half the teams have left and gone to other regions.
We got the upgrades.
To be fair, one of them is Navi, the big boys.
What are you trying to say about Heretics?
They were there before. Like, they're not new. They were already here.
Nice flash. Right off rip. I would expect Artists to be going back, and well, they threw a few more pieces of utility in just to make sure they know how unhinged this guy can be. Playing against him never easy. Remember, going back to that defensive side for Navi, it was opening pick after opening pick for Artists on this rifle. That's why you see so much committed from Heretics to push him out of those easy angles.
Heretics themselves have pumped the brakes, but there are 4 players now ready and waiting for Navi. They have left Sugetsu on the other side of the map. The thing is, though, Heretics at this stage look committed. They look like they're set on going in this direction. Maybe the expectation is that someone's going to come and look in, flash across. It's a bait to give Miniboo the space. But the fact is, Benji's gone down elsewhere. The advantage sitting with Navi.
Oh, wow. Chao's just peeked in. He saw them all, but the paranoia didn't catch Patatek. Able to respond quickly. Heretics still in with a chance until another kill is found by Angel, this time through the smoke. 3 versus 2. Another falling, though. That's Angel overcommitting. He was in no man's land taking a fight. They know where Zipan is. They've got him boxed in. Trails leading to him, but Patatek falls anyways as Navi come back from what looked like a little bit of a shaky situation in the end. 13-12. One more needed to put this to a close and move on to their own map pick.
I swear to God, every time they use either Rolling Thunder or Nightfall, somehow they almost lose the round. It's like, we're in a perfect position. I'll use my ultimate. Somehow that made things worse. But I guess it might just be them trying to make plays on the top of it. As you said, though, getting Navi to overtime, it might be considered an achievement, but for Heretics, they don't want to be left in the footnotes of history. They need to turn this one around. And while the success they had was mostly on this defense, the fact is, though, the initial aggression didn't spot anything. They are now looking to put that pressure in. Boo has been forced to fall back, but he is still around this angle. Paranoia in hand. Is he about to set up Miniboo to go for a swing? It looks like it, and he's found the kill as well.
Oh, it would have been massive. But for that trade back out, Xiao maintains control and NAVI maintained course. Looking for the A side. Plenty of players rotated in on the side of Heretics. This defensive side doesn't want to stand still and let NAVI make the next move, though. They're getting aggressive, pushing into the angles and punishing every peak. NAVI tried desperately to save Sagetsu from Minibu's grasp. Oh, wow. They didn't think there were 2 more guns standing ready to take that fight. Only Angel left. 1v3 in this angle, 1v4 in the round, and, oh, 0 health remaining. That's a pretty clean conclusion. 13-13. Another overtime awaits us.
Switching sides.
Again, just impressed with the synergy that has somehow been built within this Heretics roster, even in a shaky climate. The support they had, the flashes, the stuns that are used alongside it.
Yes! Minibu, you shagger.
Pardon me, sir? Pardon me? I don't understand if they were calling narrate that, but a bit more shaggy, I suppose. Wow,
That's definitely my favorite Coach Mike so far.
oh, that's going on the soundboard. Minibu already off to a poor start. Didn't take the advice to heart. He's out of the round, and we've got a 4 versus 5 for NAVI. 13-13. Defense has been good. Opening picks by Artis have been nasty, but they're going to avoid him for now, taking things elsewhere. But without that star entry, without that space taker, they're going to struggle to get into a site.
Say that. The drone will give things away. That's where Sagetsu will immediately switch his gaze towards that B site, put a snake bite down, smoke on it as well. It looks like they're just going to disrespect it. Maybe a hard read coming through. They've obviously got to destroy the trap that was set up by Artis, but it is just going to have to be a full retake. We already mentioned the post, but the fact that Xiao has already managed to find one, the close angle, he's actually seen him, it doesn't matter. Benji wins the fight anyway. They should have the information either way.
Advantage sits with NAVI, stays there. Main is there, sight seems to be to Rian's. Oh, he's hit the shot! Reset after the flash, but it's Angel to close the round. I was believing in that clutch. What a reset from him. But 14 will be ultimately in the hands of NAVI. One more to push this across the line. And the worst thing is, you know, we talked about a team like Heretics. How will they manage a defeat? If they lose after such an extended map, those are the ones that sit with you, that sting the most.
Right, this is where NAVI are going to take themselves a pause. Give a chance to the coaching staff, Doom Bros and Latex, to come up with something. Or even maybe just to let the youngsters stew in it a little bit. Leave them to try and think of what's going to come up next. How can they adapt to whatever NAVI is going to be throwing at them? Because that's it. It's been a defensive-sided match so far. 8-4 on both sides. Defensive rounds across the board when it comes to what we've seen so far in overtime. Obviously, still early days just yet. Again, so many players that we can highlight, but there hasn't really been a weak link within either side. And at this stage of the game, this doesn't really matter anymore. It's all about getting those rounds.
Yeah, that's it. You can come into OT, not pop a single kill, but you're taking the space, you're playing your role. All the pieces of the puzzle need to fit together, and for Heretics now more than ever, this is their map pick. Breeze doesn't look fantastic. I think the favor more so towards NAVI there. It is NAVI's map pick as well. They've got the stats to work with. And for Heretics, I'd still be afraid of players like Minibu there, for sure. But we don't want to see them go in one map down. Not like this. NAVI 14-13. The timer started ticking away. We're about to see the barriers go up for what could be one last time.
There. Bring them down.
Again, just this information setup. Minibu not shying away from the fight. Is he really going to keep going? You have to feel like he's just going to sit back. He has support from Big Bro to try and deny anything more. One way is going to go up again. Be a little while before they have another smoke available to them. And actually, NAVI are going to try and play off the back of this. Stun is good. It's left onto Minibu, and it's just going to be the trades. Both teams coming out even. A little bit of extra damage done onto Angel. And Patatek instead has to fall back, leaving what it will be is just Benji over on the other side of the map, and it seems like that may have been the plan all along for NAVI.
Definitely in one sense, I think the idea is for Artis to try to find that space and take the pick, right? Like, somebody's got to be peeking eventually, but Benji is steadfast. He is held. The camera just looking towards main, or market, pardon me, while B main is covered off by these traps. He doesn't need a peek. He sits in the corner and waits, but once he's spotted, that's where trouble comes in. We're going to see Angel move through and probably destroy this camera. That's when the utility comes through from the rest of NAVI. Calm down. Where does he go? Benji now knows there's enemies everywhere. Good first to start onto Artis. Reposition around onto the site. And Angel's even left the market angle, grouping up with his teammate. It's Zipan and himself. 45 on Angel. It should be an easy fight. And with the headshot to Zipan, this round may just be tied up in a neat little bow. No need to peek for Benji. 12 seconds left. No plant for Angel just yet. Good shot to start. Plant going to be attempted. Going to be stuck all the way. Oh, but the nade stopped it. Despite one kill, he can't quite correct in time. 14 to 14, Tom. We're going again, round number 29.
I was scared for a second that that was going to be that push forward from him and just neither player would be ready for such an aggressive peak. But again, you mentioned him already. On this defensive side, Benji has been a menace that NAVI have really struggled to deal with. Still trying to catch up to Miniboo. It's been a challenge throughout this match so far. Back to the attack. I feel like that is going to be the deciding factor. Who is the first to get that attack side round? Well, it's going to be that first attempt. Already stunned up, blinded, everything thrown at the side.
Benji.
Heretics, he's waited. Oh, he's giving it away.
Lucky that Artis gets out of there. If he sticks around for the fight, I don't know that Benji's chances are that good. But luckily, he's gone. A reset on the anchor. Time now bought for this squad of Heretics. The space retaken. They're forced back off A. It's not bad, really, to trade out the paranoia, considering NAVI don't have the control. You know, if Artis was now pushed up on B main and had that position, as he did before Benji's little bit of a challenge, or if he was pushed up on A main, fair enough, you know, worthwhile trade. But now there's valuable utility missing from the side of NAVI, utility that's had a lot of impact in late rounds.
Run through. I think that was an attempt to destroy the trap, but it's failed. So they'll now know that this angle is still going to be covered. And more importantly, they're walking into that operator. That has been such a devastating thing throughout the game so far, especially on defense. Good utility to force back Artis, but he's not dealt with just yet. And it's looking like the retake. Now, every single round, Chow seems to be able to find a kill above these smokes. It's something that Heretics seem aware of, as they'll now get back into their afterblow.
Viper Orb was up in market as well. NAVI weren't able to keep the Viper Wall in play to block them out fully, but that's okay because they're recharging up those toxins for the retake. And Miniboo tried to get ahead of it, but Artis finally gets that opening duel late into the round. The fight hadn't come through, and so there's still lots of utility. Nade down, that's going to buy some more time. NAVI want to fight forward, want to take control over main. TP through by Xiao has not worked, and the defuse, they're attempting it right now. It's a brave attempt with a body block as well, but they have found their mark. Doubled up on it. And the lead now for Team Heretics. For the first time, a chance to close out their map pick. And Tom, they get to do it on their defense. This could be it.
Yeah, I think just being able to get into these sites and these B-site post plants have been sublime for the side of Heretics. It's not just a young squad blitzing their opponents with aim. They have ideas, they have plans, and they definitely have fans.
In the droves. That's fantastic to see the Heretics community showing up, and well, the roster certainly living up to the hype that they themselves have created, because when people saw this team list go out, there wasn't a lot of hype drummed up. No one said, oh, that's it. That's it. Madrid down, baby.
Team for the future.
Exactly, yeah. Maybe in a couple months, maybe a year with some roster changes, add in someone else. It could be great.
And definitely not with a stand-in. No one was sat there going, yeah, you know what? Patatek's going to come back, and he's going to make it to Masters. That was not something that people had on the cards. It's still not done yet, though. They are a very long road. They haven't even taken that first map, but that is the goal. It's aggressive. A push forward. A react might have just started the beginning of the end, leaving just one man standing, Artis. He's been great so far in this game, but on the attack, there is little to be desired for this side of NAVI. Spike recovered. Patatek, maybe a little bit overzealous, is going to give him a root, but already hit by that second pulse, leaving him on 70 HP. Nowhere to go. Drone, he's going to try and push it. The spam actually dinks up Rien's. But even still, I think it might be too little too late. He needs to do a whole lot, and he does manage a couple. But it's Rien's. The man sat at home looking to send NAVI home as Heretics, after a huge comeback, take map 1.
Well, that was their map pick. It wasn't easy.
That was a bit close, wasn't it?
But they were 10-4 down at one point, Tom. This squad was looking down and out, and they managed to come all the way back.
For Miniboo and 7 for Artist.
Well, he's been matching and